Hello YouTube, this is Tech and Prep, coming at you again for another video. Actually my second video, so congrats to me, right? Okay, today I am going to review another knife. Well, not actually, my first was a tomahawk. I'm going to review a knife. Just to give you a little background though on this one, I am going to try to stick to a kind of a format. I'm going to use a score. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give a score to the knife. There's 4 main points. I'm going to call it the TAP score, by the way. Tech and Prep score. Haha, thought of that all myself. All right. The first is going to be basically aesthetics and engineering. The second is going to be practical / everyday use. Third, camping and survival. Fourth, tactical / fighting. And then there's going to be an extra point score for zombie apocalypse. I know. I just like it. I think it's fun. I'm gonna score 1 to 5, and yeah, each one of them. So 20, actually 21 with the extra point will mean I really love this item, and you know, you get the picture. Right off the bat, these reviews, these scores, anything about is strictly based on my perception, my needs, and how I feel it scores. I'm not gonna go too much into every specific technical detail of these knives and everything else, because you know there's so many good videos out there. You could look up heating specs and how each steel is specifically made and the treatment that's necessary. And these are all very interesting things, but they're just such a wide berth of information out there that, you know, it becomes a bit redundant, especially when I have a lot less knowledge than they do. So this is, you know, this is my thing. It's strictly for my thing. If you like it, great. If it helps you, awesome. You know, and I just hope you enjoy it. All right, enough with that. Let's move on to the main event. Today, we are looking at the SOG Creed. Yes, the SOG Creed. I know you've seen this knife. There's plenty of videos on it. It's a pretty cool knife. I got this a while ago. Never really didn't do much banging around with it. You know, I played with it a little bit. So, but I think I have a pretty good feel on how it would rate on my score and my uses, basically. So, you know, without further ado, let's get on. Oh, real quick, specs. The knife itself is 12.3 inches. The blade length is 7.5. The handle is Craton, Kraton, say it as you will. And it uses an AUS 8 steel, and the sheath is leather. That's about as spec heavy as I'm going to get. Listen, if you have any questions and that you want to know about anything that I ever do a video on, please ask me. I'll be thrilled to respond to you as soon as I can and get the information as best I can. And if not, I will at least point you in a direction where you get really good information. So, you know, that's my promise to you. So please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments that you want, and I'd be happy to respond to you. All right, let's start. Okay, pretty nice sheath. Okay, as a snap here, opens up. I'm gonna put the sheath aside for now, but I mean, well, since we're gonna talk about aesthetics first, I love a hefty sheath. Pretty wide belt loop. It's good for some applications. I mean, for a heavy knife like this, it's not always ideal, but I feel it gives a good range of movement. You know, sitting down, moving, relaxing, and it's really heavy duty leather. So I mean, it's a thick leather. I'm not sure if you can really tell. It's hard to really show on video, but yeah, I mean, it's a sheath. It's nice. I mean, for this knife, it's really pretty good. All right, just a close up of the knife here. I wonder if we're getting into. Okay, there we go. I don't know if the focus is working as well as it should, but as you can see, it's a pretty hefty knife. Okay, so we'll get into aesthetics. It's really a pretty knife. Uh, I love the swedge. I love the big belly on it. The clip point. Okay, it's engineered nicely as a nice. I don't know. I hate to call it a blood channel, but that's basically what it is. It's so that you could, if it's in something that's moist, you could pull it. It won't get stuck. It'll pull out, but it's very aggressive, very wide and deep. So I think it would definitely do its job. So yeah, it's a good looking knife. I like the handle shape. Fits my hand good. I'm a big guy, so I'm relatively big. I'm a big guy, so my hands are big, and this knife really fits nicely. I think honestly, it would work for even smaller hands, a little bit smaller than mine. But I definitely get a good grip on this. Like the guard, you need a good guard with such a long piece of sharp metal. You know, I like that it's a big aggressive guard. I feel confident, holding it. It's pretty thick. Honestly, I don't know the specs right off the bat, but it's a relatively thick knife. Um, you could definitely look that up. All right, so it's made in Taiwan. It says that right here. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a lot of knives are made overseas. I think it has to do with the Q&A. If you're with a decent company like SOG, I believe love SOG stuff, and their Q&A is such that they're overseeing the product being manufactured, even if it's manufactured in a foreign country, i.e. Taiwan, you'll still get quality. Uh, some may disagree. That's just my feeling on it. I'd love to buy American. I'm a strong believer in, we got to support the country, but, sometimes we defer to other things, and I like this knife, and that's why they made it. Okay, so aesthetically, it's very nice, the sheath and the knife. So I'm going to give this aesthetic score of 4 because it really is a good-looking knife. Okay, practical. Now, when I use practical everyday use, I mean my practical everyday use, how I would see it used in my environment. And eventually I'm going to create a little bit more of a bio. I have to type up so you just have a general idea. But, real quick, I live I live in the suburbs. I live outside of an urban center. I have to travel a little bit to get into deep woods. So I would mostly be, I'm mostly in a suburban quote unquote environment. Okay, so for that use, I don't know. I live in New Jersey, so carrying it in a car is really a no-go. You don't want to do it. It'd be very hard for me to explain this knife. I mean, I could keep it in the trunk, but it's for what I would use it for, there's much better options that I would just carry around and bang around in the trunk than this particular knife. I can't really carry it on me, EDC or whatever else. Like I said, it's way too big, and I live in a state that's pretty heavily policed, to be honest with you. So you have to be careful about, even with towns, you have to be careful. Not everyone sees things the same way. So I wouldn't carry a knife like this. There's no real reason for me to, but just in general, if you're just wondering where I live, it's kind of difficult. So the practical use, even at home, there's not much use for it. The only thing I really could see it being used for is quote unquote self-defense, something to have near my something that I have access to if all else fails. So with that, I'm still going to give it a 2 because there is that. It would handle that situation well. As a home defense weapon, this would definitely be a practical. So that in itself makes it practical because I would keep it around for that. And nearby, so it wouldn't be tucked away just somewhere where I can't get to it. I can't access this. So that's the only reason it gets a 2 on the, practical everyday scale. All right. Let's see. Camping and survival. Okay, I put the two together because sometimes they overlap. When I say camping, I don't mean car camping. Car camping is great, love it, done it. But with car camping, you can bring everything, including the kitchen sink. So I don't have you don't have to make decisions on what you bring. You could bring everything and just use what you need. I mean backpacking. I backpack in when I camp. When I get away, I find a place and I pack out. Uh, would this be useful in the woods? Sure, you could chop with it. Um, can't really do, doesn't have really a chore. You can't really do fine work, but this with maybe a smaller knife might serve you well. But you definitely could hack with it. It's very heavy. Also, I like with the high gloss, you can more that you can more signal with it, which is sometimes good enough. Let's say survival situation that would definitely be of value. Uh, the problem is the weight. Uh, when we talk about when I talk about weight versus necessity, I mean practical use, utility, weight, let's say weight versus utility, it's gonna lose out. It's a heavy knife. I mean, it's a pound. To carry this, I could carry a small hatchet and get more things done. Um, it wouldn't serve my purposes camping as much as some other things. So, uh, in survival, I mean, if stuff hits the fan, yeah. Okay, in my January, the way I feel is if stuff hits the fan, you want a tool that can be utilized for different things because you could only carry but so many things, and you never know when you're going to be able to go back and get other things. So this might not be a great option because of its weight and its, I'd say, lack of uses. One main thing I think about when I think about survival, especially in the area I'm in, is you need something that could breach. If I'm carrying something this big, what should I say? If I'm carrying something this big, it has to be able to breach. Be a good breaching tool because you figure when shit is that everything's going to be locked. Anything that's worthwhile is going to be locked, or at some point it was locked, or it'll be locked and left. The point is you're going to have to get in. Um, the knife itself, when you look at breaching, you wouldn't be able to use the tip because it narrows a lot. So I don't know if you could tell, but I'd be afraid it would break. You would probably end up getting down to the belly when you're trying to breach. Here's the issue I had. The belly's so thick you would have a lot of surface space, but then it narrows drastically before the handle. With that, I also am looking at this. Now that seems to be the tang. Now, as you can see, the knife goes in. The knife is this thick here, but the handle isn't. So I get the impression that this part narrows as it enters the handle, and that's my thought is reinforced because if you look here, that's what is showing at the end. So I just have a sneak, and I might be 100% wrong. And SOG, if I'm wrong, don't hate me, please tell me. But I have a feeling this narrows dramatically the tang within this handle. So when all the pressure's here, it already narrowed to this point, and then if the tang gets very narrow, this is just destined for failure, no matter how thick the knife is. In my view. So it wouldn't make a good breaching tool. So with that issue, I'm gonna give it a 3. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 for camping / survival. It's decent. It could be used depending on if your weight utility ratio. I'm not sure how well it would be used for breaching, but all right. Here's everyone loves tactical and fighting. By no means am I a tactical fighting expert, but I have my knowledge. Tactical. Let me speak on that. This sheath. I consider this sheath tactical. The reason I do, the color and the snap. All right. Now, oh no, tactical means a lot of straps. Velcro. Okay, Velcro is not tactical. I don't care what anyone says. This is my feel on it. If you're approaching someone with, especially with a weapon system, you might hear a little pop. If you hold it a little tighter, I could probably open this without even that. That's me opening it and then drawing. Very quiet. Velcro. I don't understand how anyone can make a sheet that's considered tactical with Velcro. It doesn't make sense. It defies logic. It really does. A snap is what you use. My opinion, you could disagree with me, but we'll just have to agree to disagree. The knife itself, tactically speaking, the issue is the gloss. I don't like it. It's way too shiny because it has a satin finish. It reflects way too much. If you're in the wrong place and you have this out doing just some field work with it, and the sun hits it, you could be seen from a ridge line. You could be seen from an a bedroom where someone, and people are going to be looking out. Especially if you're in a situation where being tactical, matters. People are going to be looking for that kind of stuff, and this will give you away, like from a mile. That hasn't been measured, but that's my view. Fighting, that's a different story. Love the weight of this. It really is. It's a heavy knife, great chopper, pierce, and it gives you a lot of distance from your assailant, be it man or beast. So you don't have to get as close as some other knives would force you to. I guess the style I wanted, the backhand hold is, it's very nice. It swings easy, nice balance. It's a big knife, but doesn't feel like it when it's moving. It's a lot of, especially with the backhand, there's a lot of recovery. It's easy to recover, I should say. I like it. It's a nice fighter except for the shine. Little heavy, but I'm bigger, so it's not as much of a negative for me. So with that said, I give this a 3 for tactical and fighting. For the reasons I've stated. Now, what we've all been waiting for, Zombie Apocalypse. It definitely scores an extra point for Zombie Apocalypse. All right, listen, it's a piercer. You need the pierce. You'll definitely get in there with this. Also, great chopper. Like I said, this would definitely be worth its weight in gold if this is something that you were using as a primary weapon system in that kind of environment. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know it sounds a little silly, but it's fun. We could have fun while we're still talking about knives. But for Zombie Apocalypse, definitely a good tool. So I do give it the 1 extra point. All right. That said, I guess I'll summarize. We get 4 for aesthetics, 2 for practical, 3 for camping, 3 for tactical, and the extra Zombie Apocalypse points gives us a score of 13, which out of 20 is, out of 20 with a 21 with extra point, isn't bad, for what it is. My view on it is it's much more of a showpiece for me than a knife that would really bring out and put through its paces in most scenarios. I like the knife a lot, and there's nothing wrong with having a showpiece knife. It's half of my, more than half of my knives. That's what they're going to be. I get things because I like them. Not everyone is going to be used in the field. That's just how it is. So for this, I do like this knife. I would, for the price, I forget the exact price I paid for it. It was on Amazon. It was up there. I think I just looked on it a little while ago. So it's I think relatively speaking, it's about the same as it was when I purchased it. Say about $100. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. Please just go on Amazon, look up SOG Creed. But all in all, I enjoy. It's a good knife, and I'm happy with my purchase. So if you have any questions, please contact me. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. This is Tech and Prep, and thanks for watching.